Hello, it's the preview, it's the Champions League preview. It's John Gibbons and I'm here with Sean O'Donnell and I'm in the Coach House on Maryland Street, which is partly your establishment, Sean. I was going to give you all the credit there, but you and a few of your mates have got this place and very nice it is indeed, I must say.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, we know we've had it nearly a year now, so it's part of obviously the Angus group from Dale Street. So yeah, thanks for the plug.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be down here. It is probably the most sober I've been when I've been in here, to be honest with you. It's become a decent little spot for me when I'm off to Manford Hall. So a big gang of us were here just before Jamie Webster, and yeah, I was in for the Red Rum Club gig a couple of weeks ago as well. So good little stop if you're off to Manford Hall, but also handy for Harman Street as well. But yeah, the tunes are always good in here. The ale's fantastic. I think there might be one or two of our cans in here. If you're lucky, you might sort of catch it as well. But no, a nice one for inviting us down. And we've got a big game to look forward to on Wednesday. It's nice, isn't it, to have something to bounce back from. Saturday was a little bit disappointing. 2 drop points from a good lead, but the Champions League on Wednesday is a reminder of, how well we're doing in that competition, really. Like, you look at that table and it couldn't be looking any better from what was meant to be and is a tough group.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think, you think of Klopp's teams and how he sort of reacts to negative results or bad results. And I always think when he's angry, he gets the best out of the players. And he looked pretty angry and following the game on Saturday in terms of what happened and frustrated. So hopefully, as you say, that sort of gets the fire going in the belly. And yeah, there's nothing better than a Champions League night at Anfield, is there, to get yourself back up for it.
Yeah, and it feels like one that, is Liverpool. It's ideal, really, because we're in such a strong position that if we win it, we're through. If we don't, it's not the end of the world. You'd love to win the game. A draw is probably fine as well, because we got such a good result out there. And it does feel like, it's not necessarily a free hit, because it's still the sort of the Champions League, but at the same time it does feel like one where you can go out there and tell them to express themselves, tell them to get the weekend out the system and go show what a great team they are.
Absolutely, and if there's any, out of all the games, I think obviously, bar the away one with the win away has sort of put us in this position. If there's any of the games that you've got left that you want to be a free hit, it's this one, because, Atletico for me are a team that they're almost set up perfectly to stifle us. Yeah. We've always struggled against teams that, or we tend to struggle against the teams that come with a low block. The absolute opposite to what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did to us through the week. Like, they've got a manager who knows how to play against us.
Yeah.
So, and you're seeing with the result that they got here, obviously in that infamous night now, going back just before the pandemic. So yeah, it's nice to go into it with that freedom, I think.
Yeah, you mentioned the infamous night. It's funny to reflect on that now, isn't it? Almost strange to reflect on that game where 3,000 Madrid fans came over, even though the football in Spain had been sort of cancelled, if you like. Jurgen obviously wasn't happy about it. He was shouting at Liverpool fans for putting their hands over for high fives and stuff. And then to play so well and go out, it's just like a surreal night all around, looking back.
It is. That was absolutely mad, that, to be honest. Thinking back to it, it's mad, and I think, we shouldn't lose sight of how lucky we are to be back in the ground and under different circumstances now and having these Champions League back, because there was a time where you thought we could be going a long time without these nights, and to come back to such a big game. I think we'll probably go on to touch about the team that he's got to put out, but regardless of whatever team he's got to put out, you always think with a full crowd at Anfield and a big team coming, any team, we can get any team up for it, basically.
Well, let's talk a little bit about the team then. We'll go sort of front to back, and there's a couple of ways to approach it, isn't there? We talked a little bit about free hits, so we might look to rotate a little bit. He plays at Iji, doesn't he, in the Milan game, and starts all right at it and then sort of fades out of it. There's Jota, who's on the bench, he might sort of come in. Do you think he'll go for 3 of the main 4, or do you think there'll be a temptation because it is a game where we can't afford maybe to drop points, to give the likes of Origi or Minamino a bit of a run?
Yeah, it's a tough one to call, really. I think he'd like to get it done early. I think he'd like to win this one if he can.
And then maybe rotate in the next two.
And then rotate in the next 2. I think he's got a bit of a thing with Simeone as well, and I know he respects him and stuff, but I think he'd like to get one over him after what happened last time. So, I think he will go strong. It's just, what he's got to pick in midfield, which, we don't know fully yet, do we?
Yeah, this is before the press conference, so there'll be updates from Jurgen about that. I don't think Thiago will be quite right for it. Fabinho, he was a bit sort of cryptic on, wasn't he? It didn't sound great. It sounded like one of those injuries where we've had recently, where he's like, oh, he's nearly there, and then a month goes and you're still not seeing him.
That didn't sound good.
All right, the Reds, thanks very much for getting stuck into that little snippet there of Anfield Wrap content. If you want the rest of that show and much more besides, click the link below, subscribe to the Anfield Wrap Premium, and for that you will get reviews, previews, exclusive interviews, post-match content, the full it. Get involved, follow us, follow them from the heart of Liverpool. Up the Reds.